Hello, everyone. Welcome back to What Businesses Need to Know Right Now. Today, I have brought Paul L. Gunn Jr. to the conversation. We're going to be talking about logistics, procurement, and supply chain, and empathy, and how these two things are actually four blend together in the business world. Welcome, Paul. It's good to have you.
And thanks for having me, Nettie.
So Paul comes, he's the founder of KUA Corporation and has developed a career around procurement, logistics, and supply chain. He's highly skilled in this domain with proven results, which we always love to see, right? And his capabilities include consulting, training, project management, implementing quality management, continuous improvement. We could probably have an entire conversation for more than 10 minutes on lots of these topics here. And technology solutions for global organizations leading cross-functional teams in Asia, Europe, the Middle East, and America. He's proven skilled leader in life cycle and business process management. Whew. It's good to have you here, Paul.
Yeah, I was just saying.
So let's jump right in here. When we first started talking and started talking about process and logistics, you said you've got a different angle on that. So tell me a little bit about how empathy plays a role in the work that you do.
I feel like it plays a massive role. You got to build your supply chain based on the connections you make. It's important in all business to have them, but I really feel like in supply chain and procurement, your connections really make the difference. When you need something quick and fast or reliable, that really comes on a relationship where people can make calls into different other people who have access to a place you may not have it. And that comes on developing and building relationships. When we started out, it was key that we focused on the relationships and building a real relationship that went past just a business transaction.
Mm-hmm. So what are some things that you find are helpful to build that relationship?
So a lot of what I've done and we found success when you initially meet connections, so it really helps to get there and find what you can bring to the table and offer to help them. And sometimes you're just looking to bring a new customer. Like for example, if you have somebody who's not normally in plastics and you have a contact there, whatever, I'll go in and make a connection and seek to build relationships on had they considered this angle from a new vendor who's also looking to mirror or collaborate with them. So having built that relationship with who I'm bringing to the table and seeing how they interact, you're bringing two people who didn't necessarily know each other to the table. They collaborate, and now you kind of create a tripod for people to work together. Even though I may not be getting anything from it right now, it's that connection is seen as building it solely for looking to help someone else. And that has paid off dividends because somewhere down the road, you're going to run into the same people over cross domains. It hasn't really failed me yet. So it's not the premise for doing it, but that's the initial reason why. It's because of who I am. And I found that people respond really well to that.
So, I looked at your LinkedIn profile, right? It's clear that you're working in a corporate environment. How often do you find you get strange looks when you're talking about empathy in this space?
You kind of get looks. Sometimes it can be perceived as a weakness. It's not a bad thing, but you learn a lot from people because I found there's two sides to that coin. There's those that immediately appreciate it and you have an instant connection, and those have been some of the most loyal supply chain partners. And then you have those that look at it and you see it as a weakness, and what you learn in that position is exactly where they stand on that. And those are some of the people you can find in terms of a defense on how to move and bend them, because they're showing and basing their view on you on an assumption, which has been a tactic for me that's worked well in being able to maneuver them.
So maybe tell us a short story about, when you've been able to perhaps come up against that assumption and win that person over, for lack of a
So,
better way to say it.
well, I've been in places where people basically, especially when we were younger and earlier in business, would tell us, "Oh, your company sent you here." So they didn't realize that we were the founder. I was the founder of it. So they just basically went off and said, "Well, Paul's of no importance. Look, this is what we're doing. Here's all the stuff that's going on." And I'm sitting there hearing everything from a tactical view on how they're going to attack a deal. And
Mm-hmm.
my head is spinning in the wheel saying, "Oh, I know how to tweak it," because they immediately made an assumption. And to my surprise, just started telling me everything that they were going to do to another person in their presence because they thought I was sent from
Right.
my firm and not that I was the owner. I've
Mm-hmm.
been in situations before where the immediate contact starts yelling to me, "Well, I'm God to your customer. So you can have your customer come to me and I'll tell you how to figure out this stuff." And in doing that, you understand that if you've taken a compassionate role to them, they'll temper because I just let him talk. And in that
Mm-hmm.
situation, letting him talk helped me build a relationship. That one actually turned into a loyal customer because he just wanted to speak.
Mm-hmm. So you have found just, strong communication skills, empathy to me, from what I'm hearing you say, from to kind of report back means, seeing that person in front of you as another human being, understanding that they have more to offer than just the work that they're presenting in front of you, being compassionate, and hearing their story, strong listening skills. What do you think is lacking right now? I mean, from your perspective right now, business owners are listening to this conversation. What do you think they need to know that is important right now in the day and age we're living in?
I think right now, as the world, whether they want to change or not, the world has put a light on the importance of things beyond the workforce. People are juggling a lot. Home, kids at home, lost jobs. And when you go in to start working with somebody, simply just wanting to get a deal done and avoiding who they are as a person, what strikes them, why are they in a role. They may be in a position now they didn't feel like being in because they lost their jobs. They took a role. So simply asking someone, "Well, what is it about your job that you like now? Is this something that you enjoy? Have you been removed? What's going on?" Can remove that initial sting on if they're in that to enjoy or if they're in that because they love it. And then talking about what aligns to them will be a big factor. But I think it's a big role right now because a lot of people are dealing with so much in their personal lives. It's just stopping to ask somebody how they're doing, what's going on, can go a long way.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more. So, you've given us some strategies here to open up the relationship, to build that empathy, because and showing the importance that it's not just now, it's the relationships that are going to be happening for you in the future, and perhaps crossing paths. You don't want to burn a bridge.
Yeah,
Good
no.
idea here. And it speeds the work along. So Stephen M. R. Covey wrote a book called The Speed of Trust. And it sounds to me like a lot of what you're doing is trust building, and then business can be done faster. Do you find that to be true?
Yes, because when stuff, basically we prepare and assume for things to go wrong. So who is it when I'm making a connection that's going to handle stuff when things go wrong? If shipments get delayed, like what they did with COVID, who's able to make a call or reach into someone who they trust that can either speed up the order or get things done and do it quicker? But that comes from building a relationship on trust and
Absolutely.
being genuine.
So if people would like to reach out to you, Paul, what's the best way to connect?
LinkedIn's the fastest way, and I am working on responding to messages as quickly as possible. That's definitely the fastest way to get me.
Awesome. We'll definitely check out Paul's page on LinkedIn, connect with him, perhaps share a story or two about how empathy has served you in your business. If you enjoyed this interview, I encourage you to leave a comment, check it out, and check out all of the interviews that are available at whatbusinessesneedtoknow.com. Thank you so much, Paul. It's been a pleasure to have you here.
Anytime. Thank you.